Now let's compare this guy to the original Tri-Klops from 1982. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Flashback Toys and Collectibles, and today I will be opening up Tri-Klops from the Masters of the Universe Origins toy line. So here's a look at the packaging. New for 2021, modern posing retro play. Let's take a look at the back here. So it shows Tri-Klops battling He-Man and Battle Cat. And then it talks about the features with Tri-Klops. Turn visor for different eyes to spy for Skeletor. And here's some of the other figures available, such as Ninjor and Hordak. Alright, let's go ahead and open this up. So I'm just going to cut the bubble off the card back. So unfortunately with this figure it looks like they've glued the comic book to the card back, so it looks like it's going to rip the comic book a little bit when I take it off. Well, that's a bummer. So the comic book's already damaged. Here's a quick look at the comic. Sneak attack. It's got Ninjor on the front there. Then inside here it shows a battle with Tri-Klops, Hordak, and Ninjor, and Skeletor. Here's some instructions that show all the removable parts on Tri-Klops. You can remove the feet, arms, torso, and head. Alright, let's cut this guy loose. A couple bands back here. So here's everything that comes inside the box. We got the comic, manual, figure, and a sword. Let's take a quick look at his sword here. So it's kind of a lime green color with black at the bottom, and it's somewhat flexible. And here is a look at Tri-Klops. So the visor can turn up here and change the eye color. So there's the red and white eye. There's just a red eye that looks a little bit more evil, and a blue eye. So one thing I'm noticing when I'm turning this, it wants to turn the whole head instead of just the eyes. So I got to keep adjusting them here. Let's check out the articulation with this figure. So the head can swivel back and forth and up and down. The shoulder can pivot up and down. Then at the elbow he can bend. The hand can twist around and move up and down. It can also turn at the waist. The top of the leg here can pivot out and back and forth. The knee can pivot. The boot can turn. And then there's some movement at the ankle as well. Now let's compare this guy to the original Tri-Klops from 1982. So that's this guy right here. So they look pretty similar at first glance, but there is some differences in the colors. So if you check out the armor on this guy, the green's a little bit darker. On this guy it's more of a lime green, and on this guy it's more of a tree green, or a forest green maybe. They still have the same orange on the center here. The faces are pretty similar, but on this guy here, he's exposing his teeth, and he has a little bit different facial expression. This guy here's got a closed mouth. Also, the skin on this guy is a little bit darker. He's definitely got more of a tan than this guy. And this visor feature is pretty much the same, so I can change the eye color to just red, blue, or red and white. The articulation on the old figure is a little bit limited when compared to the new figure. With this guy, the head can swivel and the arms can move up and down, and then he can turn at the waist and the legs can move around as well. But there's no movement at the elbow or knees or boot. Now one cool feature the old figure has is the power punch. So you can turn them to the side, then let go for that power punch. And with the new Origins figures, there's no feature like that. You can just turn them at the waist to pose him, but he does not spring back. So that's a feature I wish they would have carried on with this new toy line. Alright, let's see how well he holds the sword. So on this hand here, his left hand, it's open. So this hand cannot hold a sword. But on the right hand, it's in a half closed position for holding a sword. So that should just pop right in there. Then this part can kind of wrap around the hand. And this creates kind of a guard for the fingers, so if they're in some sort of battle, it'll hit this part of the sword instead of his fingers. So when the sword is placed in this hand, it's actually fairly stable and it's not going nowhere. And let's try putting that sword on the back here, on the back of his armor. So there's a spot right here. And that holds that sword rather nicely. So with all the articulation on this guy, it should be able to stand up no problem. Let's try a couple different poses. So there's one pose. Let's try another here. And a second pose. So that's one nice feature about these new Origins figures, is that they can pose in all kinds of different positions with all the articulation in the legs and arms. So let's see if the armor is removable on this guy. Looks like it is. You can undo it right here on the back. And I'm going to go ahead and pop the arms off to make this a little easier. And it looks like I gotta pop the head off as well. So there's a look at how the armor goes together. There's a couple straps on the back. So there's a couple more parts that can come off this figure. I think you can separate at the waist and also the feet. Now let's go and put them back together. The armor on, pop the arms back on, and the other, and the head. So here's my final thoughts with this Tri-Klops figure. I think they've done an awesome job in remaking the original Tri-Klops into a new modern figure that has more articulation in the arms and legs, and a couple other cool features like teeth. Okay, it's now time for me to go. If you liked this video, if you could, hit that like button and please subscribe. And have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time.